Blessed good evening to one and all. Here again by St. Lucy's Parish Church, starting from the church center, named after former parish priest William Donald George, who was the priest at St. Lucy from 1972 to 1982. The plaque was unveiled by the Reverend Canon Curtis Goodrich, who was also a relative of mine. He was director and Mr. Roger Blackman, managing director of the Barbados Light and Power Company Limited, to commemorate the opening of the Parish Center on the 4th of February, Sunday the 4th of February 2018, in acknowledgement of the contribution made by the Barbados Light and Power Company Limited. So this is St. Lucy's Parish Church here again. I will go by the road sign and show you guys around the boat. Theodore Banker around the boat. So again, I'm in the countryside in the center of the island. Here in the parish of St. Lucy. Theodore Banker roundabout. This road here will take you back to Checker Hall via the Charles Duncan O'Neill Highway in St. Lucy, and it will take you back to Spikestown via the Animal Flower Cave. The Arbat cement plant, sorry. So this is the Theodore Banker roundabout. Back to Benton's and back to St. Lucy Post Office. We'll lead you back to Spikestown as well. You can access Spikestown 6 miles from here. Before. This is the Charles Duncan O'Neill Highway, named after national hero Charles Duncan O'Neill, who was born in 1879 and died in 1936. Charles Duncan O'Neill was related to Errol Barrow, who was Barbados' first Prime Minister, father of independence and national hero. He was also from St. Lucy, and this road will lead you back to Checker Hall, St. Lucy, via the Arabat cement plant back to Babs. You can see the Arabat cement plant here, and it will lead you back to Babs in St. Lucy, and then Checker Hall, and then to Six Men's, Half Moon Fort, and then on to Spikestown, all the way down here. So Spikestown, if you want to get to Spikestown, St. Peter. St. Lucy is bordering St. Peter. The only parish that borders St. Lucy is St. Peter. And St. Lucy is the northernmost parish on the island, and the farthest parish on the island as well. Over here is far. Going along the road. I'll show you guys the plaque dedicated in memory of Theodore Banker roundabout here by St. Lucy's Parish Church. Says this roundabout was officially opened by the Honorable George Payne, Minister of Public Works, Transport and Housing, on this 19th of July 1996, and is dedicated in honor of Sir J.E. Theodore Banker, Parliamentary Representative for St. Lucy in the House of Assembly from 1937 to 1971. So this road back to Benton's, St. Lucy, back to Benton's, this way, Benton's and the St. Lucy Port Office. You can access from this direction. And it will take you back to Spikestown as well. So Benton's this way and St. Lucy Port Office. Alright, I only went to show you guys the plaque in the roundabout. So I'm in the countryside. I took that chance just now on going in the roundabout because it is not that busy, the traffic passing. It has a lot of traffic passing, but it's not as busy as areas in the city area, like how you will find it in Warrens and those surrounding areas. You will not find that out here, so I did that. I took that chance just I went in the roundabout and took that photo with the plaque. So this is the Theodore Banker roundabout. Anglican Episcopal. This road over here now will lead you back to and more inland. Highway to Way. If you run a map highway, highway to Way can also be referred to as the run of the map highway. So this road will lead you back to Oxford, Allendale, St. Lucy, and then Oxford, which borders St. Peter and St. Lucy. Oxford, and then you'll be heading towards mile and a quarter St. Peter, mile and a quarter St. Peter, and then you'll be headed towards the highway to there. From there, you'll be heading towards highway to there right through St. James, and then into St. Thomas, which is in the center of the island. St. Thomas, and then to Warrens and surrounding areas. So this is the graphic. Another painting here outside by the roundabout. here is a peaceful area though, I must say. Despite that it is far, but here it's still a peaceful area. A lot of cars do pass, a lot of traffic do pass here, but it's still a peaceful and a quiet area to compare with certain city areas. But it's still just a stone throw away, which is in St. Peter. St. Peter borders St. Lucie. St. Lucie borders St. Peter. So, St. Lucie is like a dead end parish. So we can't get into St. Lucie unless we pass through St. Peter. The church here, which is less Gothic and more Georgian. Always closed, by the way. This is a murographic depicting things in St. Lucie. This mural depicts things in St. Lucie. Barbados, who was our first Prime Minister. Barbados was our first Prime Minister, father of independence and national hero. Born on the 21st of January 1920 at Fairfield, St. Lucie, and died the 1st of June 1987. Age 67 years. More murals on the church wall. You see the agricultural produce and the cane truck transported cane from the Fairfield sugar factory. And the agricultural produce here. And even our barrel cutting cane. Our barrel used to cut cane years ago. Animal flower cave in St. Lucie to the top of the island. It's beautiful sunrise here. Oh, I forgot to mention that St. Lucie Parish Church is the church where people say dead men play guitars at night. I don't know how true that is. I heard that story from an older person that dead men play guitars there at night. This is the rear end of the church. So this present church, St. Lucie Parish Church, dates back to 1629. But it was built and rebuilt several times. The current church dates back to 1837. This road here, as I said before, will lead you back to Fairfield, St. Lucie. This road here will lead you back to Fairfield in St. Lucie, where our barrel is from, and it will lead you back to Mount Gearum Distillery. Rum distillery, which is the oldest rum distillery in Barbados and in the world, which dates back to 1703, is also up here. The rum distillery, the oldest rum in Barbados and in the world, was manufactured at Mount Rum Distillery. Mount is also referred to as the rum that invented rum. Mount Rum Distillery is up here. So this road will lead you back to Josie Hill, Mount Rum Distillery, back to Poicarna, and back to our Barrows residence at Fairfield in St. Lucie, and it will lead you back to the top of the island. all in Rockfield and Parish and so on. You can get them from here. You can even get a River Bay or the Ararat cement plant from here as well. So I'm in the country, as I said before, and you can feel all the country breeze blowing on me right now. Yeah. Turn back at the roundabout again. So this is the ruins here for the old Fairfield plantation and sugar factory. Fairfield was marked as active factory or active sugar factory. Sadly, there is no Fairfield factory. There is no Fairfield factory anymore. A lot of the sugar factories in Barbados have closed due to less sugar producing. Sugar is not king here in Barbados anymore. When sugar was king, it would have a lot of sugar cane processing. Before I forget, this road will lead you back to, this road can also lead you back to Parish, Spring Hall. It can also lead you back to the distillery as well. And it can lead you back to River Bay and to the top of St. Lucie. St. Lucie is a far parish, far away from most civilizations. Hopefully those people are out the churchyard now. They're ready to walk through the churchyard freely. I come in here just now and some people was down here by the graveside. So I didn't want to go close to them because I don't want a confrontation. I want to talk with the body, but taking the body picture and nothing so. So I try to keep my distance and maneuver through the churchyard slowly, so that I would get a talk with nobody. So here the birds chirping. Out here is a peaceful area. No houses, no nothing. So So, back at the monument again, commemorating the Coleridge and Parish School. The Coleridge School, Coleridge and Parish School. Let me give you a history about how the name changed from Coleridge to the Parish, to the Coleridge and Parish School. First of all, this is the site of the Parish School. The Parish School was on this site first. From 1881 to 1952. Bishop Thomas Parry, who was the first Anglican bishop of Barbados. Bishop Thomas Parry was the first Anglican bishop of Barbados. He was the one, Bishop Coleridge is the first Anglican bishop who arrived in Barbados in 1825. He is the one who built most of these Anglican churches in the 1830s. When he was bishop, most of these Anglican churches were built under his tenure. Thomas Parry succeeded him as the second Anglican bishop of Barbados. So the Parish School was here by St. Lucie Parish Church. There are still a few people that attended the Parish School that are still living. The retired bishop, Rufus Broom, he went to school at the Parish School, and I think the fifth Prime Minister, Lord Erskine Sandiford, also went to school at the Parish School. He's dead now. But there are a few others that went to school at the Parish School before it was amalgamated. Coleridge School, Farmer Coleridge and Parish School, named after the first two Anglican bishops in Barbados. Bishop Thomas Coleridge and Parish School is now located at that is one of the top secondary schools in Barbados. Many Barbadians refer to that school as CP, which stands for Coleridge and Parish Secondary School. The grave of Cameron James Cameron Tudor, born the 18th of October 1919 and died the 9th of July 1995. Former Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Education, Minister of Foreign Affairs, Parliamentary Representative for St. Lucie from 1952 to 1971. So Branston Collymore, late Senator and former head of the Barbados Civil Service. Joseph St. Clair Yearwood, Aldora Odessa Yearwood, and Faith Delia Yearwood. The grave of Alvin Wesley Griffith. Another policeman. The Harris family, James F. Harris and Augusta F. Harris. The grave of Olga Edna Griffith. Lauriston Leroy Graves and Mona Patricia Graves. I would really love to go inside the church and do a vlog and show you guys inside the beauty of the church, not just sight. St. Lucie, St. Lucie and St. Peter are the two northern parishes on the island. Persons from these parishes bear the following last names: Rock, Griffith, Graves, Broom, Brooms, Canterbury, Griffith, Johnson, Bowens, Hines, and Babs, and many more that I can't remember right now. The other Stanford, all the graves here. I'm not going to show you all the graves, only the historic ones that I will show you. Thompson, former minibus owner, B58 that used to play the northern route, Spikestone, also buried here. George Broom and Patricia Pamela C. Broom. Ivan Iron Breaks and Clarence Birdie Breaks. Emerson Alonzo Grave. Laurie Yorward. The grave of former priest's wife, Hetty Ramona Goodrich. Reverend Curtis Goodrich's first wife, Hetty, is laid to rest here. She was Curtis Goodrich's first wife. The two of them met at Holy Innocents Church in St. Thomas. When Curtis Goodrich was the priest there at Holy Innocent, he met Hetty. Hetty is from the central parish of St. Thomas. Hetty's grave. These Anglican churches are very historic. Very, very historic. St. Lucy's Parish Church. To be quite honest, this part of St. Lucy is not that far. It is not as far as how River Bay and that part is far. St. Lucy's Parish Church is to the tip of St. Lucy, which is on the border with St. Peter, close to St. Peter. It's not on the border with St. Peter, but it is close to St. Peter. Has easy access to St. Peter. Hold up, onto the road right from the churchyard. The grave of Edward Seal, Grafton Dick Seal, who was the husband of Dame Olga Locke Seal, and Olga Locke Seal herself. Olga Locke Seal was born on the 26th of December 1918 in Guyana, the last of 6 children. She grew up in Georgetown, Guyana. She was a Portuguese Guyanese who would come to almost like a white Guyanese. She was born, she used to work at the radio station in Demerara, at Radio Demerara. Then later on, first of all, she married a Barbadian, a white Barbadian by the name of Grafton Dick Seal, who was the husband of Olga Locke Seal. He was a Bajan, a Barbadian, but he was on assignment in Guyana, where he met his wife Olga Locke Seal. They were married for 50 years, from 1939 to 1989. Olga Locke Seal moved to Barbados with her husband in 1963, where she worked at Rediffusion, which is the radio station. Rediffusion, which is now Starcom Network, or VOB, which stands for Voice of Barbados. And Olga Locke Seal used to run a charity fund, a needy children's fund, helping poor people and people that are in need. Olga Locke Seal used to live with her husband at Stanmore Crescent in Black Rock, St. Michael. She was a Roman Catholic, but she had a private burial here at St. I didn't even know that she was buried here, not until last year when I was through the churchyard and come across the grave. Olga Locke Seal was a gem of a lady, and they believe she should be a national hero. Olga Locke Seal was 92 when she passed on the 4th of February 2011 after falling from her home, the stairs from her home, breaking several bones, fracturing several bones. She eventually died in the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. She had a fall from her home. She was driving to Always. She was in her 90s. She received the Silver Crown of Merit and Dame, the title Dame, in November 2005 on our Independence Day giving ceremony on the 30th of November 2005. Rest in peace, Olga. Pauline Seal, so all the same family is buried here. Helena Harris, who died at the age of 83 in 1960 on the 4th of February, and her son Lemuel Roy Harris, funeral director. He died in March 1990 at the age of 60. Back at the roadside, the grave of Dr. Haynes Burley Blackman and Miss Rosina Blackman, who is the mother, and Dr. Haynes Blackman, the son, and Justice of the Peace. The Challoner family grave, Wilbert and Arlen Challoner. So even though the church is closed most of the time, you can still find peace in this churchyard. It is closed most of the time, but you can still find peace in this churchyard. This is the grave of funeral director St. John Albadamashi, who was from Nigeria. They are Nigerians. This whole family grave is this whole family are Nigerians. Albadamashi is from Nigeria. They are laid to rest there. Now leaving the church now, churchyard. Yeah, leaving. The current priest here is Father Sandiford, the Reverend Hugh Sandiford, who took over the helm as priest of St. Lucy Parish Church from last year, October 2024. And he succeeded Curtis Goodrich, who was a long-standing priest of St. Lucy from 1984 to 2024. Either 40 years or almost 40 years, he served as priest at St. Lucy. So these Anglican churches in Barbados have a lot of historical pieces in them that needs to be registered. These Anglican churches are very historic and need to be preserved. I would really like to get inside St. Lucy, or at least just to take a photo or a video in the church. Back to Checker Hall again, or the animal vaccine plant. It must have been taking long up here because that same bus passed me at the beginning of the video when I went to the church, heading towards the church. It must have been long up here. back at the Theodore Bank roundabout at the church. So thank you guys for watching now. And do have a blessed and a wonderful evening.